Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another video. I hope that you're all doing well. I hope that you're all doing absolutely fantastic and that you're all having a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little notification bell, as I see that a large number of people who watch my channel daily are not subscribed. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. This has probably been, no, it actually has been, because we know the numbers. This has by far been one of the, I want to say, toughest and weirdest bull runs, bull markets, cryptocurrency cycles, Bitcoin halvings, whatever word you want to throw in there. This has by far been the weirdest. There's no question or discussion about that. I know earlier in the summer, or at least midsummer, we were making fun of the charts and the barts and the marges and the cups and the handles and all these other things, but this now has officially been the, what's the term? Historically, after 90 to 100 days after Bitcoin's halving, we tend to move back up in price. That is just the way that things have always been. I know that we haven't had 38 cycles before, but this is typically how the market has reacted. Typically from 90 to 100 days after the halving, the market begins to move back up, and this is where we were talking about before. By January of the next year, so halving in 2020, then January 2021. 2016 halving, January 2017, that kind of thing. We tend to re-hit the previous all-time high after that time period. We moved up exceptionally fast because of the introduction of Bitcoin ETFs and the momentum that was in the market. But now we're at the word's not a crossroads, if I can be completely honest and frank with everyone. There's so much uncertainty, and I feel like I need to actually mention this as well. For a lot of people, this is their or your first cycle. Hello, welcome to the fray, if you will. The issue happens to be that there's so many expectations for this market, where it's going to go, what's going to happen, what the time frame is going to be, how much money that people can make, and all those things really jumbled together, that it's causing an unprecedented amount of frustration within the market. As I've mentioned in other videos on this channel and my other channel, Money Rules, you need to really sit down and focus and have a conversation with yourself. This isn't a joke. You need to actually decide if you want to remain in this market. This market is not for everyone. There's a lot of money to be made in this market, but there's also a lot of pain that you will feel. Not to, bring this into like a sentimental kumbaya kind of thing. The people I've seen discussing this on Twitter, on Reddit, online, on forums, everyone is kind of in this angry, distorted, emotional, don't really know where to kind of turn with their feelings kind of thing. It's different for me because I've been here before. We're all in dramatically different economic situations, and I find myself able to cope with it a little bit more because I've been through the ups and the downs and the sideways and the so and the being disgruntled and kind of waiting to see where the market is going to go. The market eventually gets there. But I also always see the people who get into the market and then they kind of flee. If you've missed any videos over the course of the last 3 months, there was a common trend that kept on popping up, which I tried to, bring to light because no one else is. And it's this idea of retail investors. So we're always kind of thrown into two different categories. You are either a normal person or you're an institution. That's the way that it is in finance. You're either an institutional investor or retail. Retail just means basically me and you, shuffling in and out of the market. There's been such a huge shift in the amount of retail investors over the summer who completely fled and left the market. And I'm trying to figure out my words as I'm saying all of this. I can't tell you to stay here. I can't tell you to do something. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the future. This is why we go over the news together to kind of analyze and discuss all of the topics for things that are happening. But there's such a weird shift and uncertainty in the world for everything. I mean, you literally point anywhere and there's uncertainty. Between the election, and I mean around the world elections, this is not the only one. There are multiple happening and other people getting back into power who shouldn't be there. Between the interest rates, between inflation, between job loss numbers, between housing not being built. We are in one of the weirdest times ever in history. And I think when constantly, tell me if I'm wrong, when constantly being faced with optimism, I think it's very difficult for a lot of people to take it seriously, if that makes any sense. A huge portion of the news over the course of the last, I want to say 7 months, I don't know why 7 months, it sounds correct, has been optimism as to where the cryptocurrency market is going to go. You've been here, you've seen it. It's nearly daily and if every other day news at this point. Every analyst is coming to the same conclusion. Every analyst has the same dates. Every analyst has the same number. This is going to happen. We see the amount of Bitcoin being taken off of exchanges. I look on Twitter sometimes and I see a lot of people discussing where prices are, and the hype is still there, but you can kind of see some of the foundations cracking when you look at a lot of the other comments that they're getting as far as yeah, okay, sure, okay, yeah, no, but yeah, sure, prices will eventually move, that kind of thing. And it's leading to a rift like something that we've seen before but have never seen before. This isn't the first cycle where things take a while to move. Usually people expect something quick. After 70 days, it starts moving up. After 90 days, it starts moving up. 101 days, things start moving up. It is of the utmost importance at this point in this market to really understand what we're seeing. You've heard me say this before, and it's because I need everyone to constantly hear it. A lot of times when I meet up with my friends, we have this discussion, and it kind of you can see the light bulb re-illuminates above their head because, oh yeah, of course. So yeah, right. Yeah. I totally forgot about that. We are in a world right now where algorithms are telling companies how to become richer than they've ever become ever before. We are in a world where we have a brand new asset class that we've never had before, that's only been around for 15 years. That's one of the huge pitfalls that a lot of people have as well. People think that crypto is this hyper-established, well-structured system that's been around for 340 years and we know what's going on. Everyone's kind of walking in the dark more or less. The cryptocurrency market also doesn't make a lot of sense. If you look at the rankings for the top, 40 coins, it looks like diarrhea. It doesn't make any sense. For instance, I don't have the chart right here, but I was looking at the prices before. You all know what Polygon is, right? You know Polygon, the scaling solution for Ethereum. Polygon's the it coin for the Ethereum ecosystem. I know there are other layer 2s. I know there are other side chains. I get it. Cool. Got it. But Polygon is kind of the household name in crypto. When you talk about 2020 to 2021, 2022, Ethereum's going through a lot of trouble. What saved it? Polygon and its low transaction fees. Polygon is ranked lower market cap wise than, oh gosh, what is it? Tron, Pepe Coin. Oh gosh, and there's two other ones that like also just popped up that do absolutely nothing. Our market isn't stable. Our market is in flux. Our market is not solid. We are in this weird historical period where we went through 0% interest rates. We went through interest rates climbing faster than they've ever done before. Inflation popping up by 28% per year on year. The actual numbers, even when you look at, there was another chart, this was weeks ago, there was another chart we were looking at talking about inflation. And just the numbers that the governments gave us, because you know how like every year they give us like the CPI data and go, that's what inflation was. But we know it's far higher. Even just from their numbers, since 2019, inflation is up in the United States between 28 and 32%. The average person has lost 28 to 32% of their purchasing power just from the government given inflation numbers. That doesn't account for anything else. That like the actual numbers. You've seen the videos. People talking about my rent's $1,100. They're bringing it up to $2,500. I don't know what to do. That's the real inflation that's baked into everything and is only getting worse. We are dealing with having to sit with our hands folded, waiting patiently to see if the Fed is going to decide to lower interest rates. There's so many arguments happening and, like discussions, political discussions and yada, yada, yada online where people are like, they need to lower it by half a percentage point, but by 0.50. They need to lower it by 1 point. By the end of the year, they have to do it by almost 2 points because like the market just won't survive. We get news all the time, and this is the point to when we get news daily that the amount of Bitcoin that there isn't there anymore, and then people don't pay attention. I get it. I understand completely why many people would not pay attention or roll your eyes or suck your teeth or simply just leave the market because I understand that it's too much. You heard from thousands of analysts when things were going to happen, but then people tend to not put the entire picture together. I can't name names because of the algorithm and stuff like that. Have you seen what's happening around the world? And I mean around the world, not in your country, not in the one above it or beneath it. On other continents, are you paying attention to what's happening? You don't understand the amount of instability that this is causing. The idea that tech stocks were doing well and this tech stock was doing so and so over the course of the last couple of years, these were inflated numbers. This is why Nvidia crashed so hard, why everything came cascading down so fast. It's this idea, well, the world's on fire, everything's completely okay. We are in a really weird transitory period. We are seeing countries mining Bitcoin, using Bitcoin, buying Bitcoin, getting into this new system. And this blasé attitude from people within the market who've been here for years or who are just getting in here. When I say like do your own research, that's a huge part of it. You're understanding, or maybe you're not, what's currently taking place. The US dollar is in trouble. Like it's doing excessively bad. You look at it from the vantage point of the US dollar to other currencies and you go, the US dollar is doing just fine. It's not. We're witnessing the collapse of it. You have these billion-dollar and trillion-dollar companies getting into the space and buying hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. You see the price not moving and you yawn and you go, well, this is nothing. Bitcoin's not going to do anything. You know what you need to do is this dog with this hat, with this cat, with this so-and-so coin, because you're being distracted constantly. When you hear that 91% of Bitcoin is now held by the richest people in like the richest wallets and whales, that sets off no alarms in your head. Why would these institutions be in this space? Why would they be buying so much in a short period of time? Why is the news making sure that it's so negative still about Bitcoin? Talking about the price drop, talking about outflows, when we see over the course of that week the amount of accumulation that took place. I just posted something on Twitter a couple of days ago. There was one of these accounts and they post about these wallet addresses. For those of you who missed it, there is a wallet address called Mr. 100. Every day, this wallet address is buying 100 Bitcoin. There's another wallet address that everyone's calling Mr. 500. You know what Mr. 500 has been doing for the last couple of weeks? He's been buying double that amount every day. He's buying 1,000 Bitcoin every single day. I understand being discouraged or being angry or being upset or being flustered. When I say that the market's not for everyone, I'm not trying to test you. This isn't one of those motivational YouTube videos where I'm like, are you going to leave? Are you just not going to be here? No, understand this is rough. We are going through a lot right now as a planet. There's so many things happening, and I know that it's difficult to hold on. The issue ends up being every single cycle, people get into the market and then they leave. People get into the market and then they leave. The market doesn't react how they want it to, so they leave over and over and over. And these are the people who rush back into the market at the end of the cycle. It's been this way for as long as I've been in the market. There are people who have left and have gone. They've not been here for the last 2-something years. They're just not in the market anymore. They're skeptical and they don't want to understand because they don't want to learn. I don't know what it is about a lot of people who don't want to learn, who don't want to enrich themselves or their mind, and they just assume that they're fine as is. You need to learn more. You have to understand. Listen, and I'm not a genius. I'm not coming to you as like a crypto philosophy teacher. It's just about like learning. Like there's so many free resources online for you to absorb for free. That's why the internet is amazing, because everything here is free. What we're witnessing right now is crazy. There's in front of your faces, as I've said before, there is a very clear transfer of money, of wealth, of societal power from the people who have very little to the people who have everything. They're absorbing all value, everything. I saw many people talking about this topic, and it was framed from the position of all you need is 0.01 Bitcoin. And they were all talking about the same exact points, basically. And it was that Bitcoin has become so scarce and will only become more scarce in the future. You can't have a conversation about companies, institutions, and countries and random wallet addresses buying thousands and tens of thousands of Bitcoin every day and every week and every month, and not have any logic talking about scarcity. They were all saying that if you have just 1 million Satoshis, 0.01 Bitcoin, you basically be setting yourself up for greatness in the future because of how scarce Bitcoin is. What no one ever reflects on is the fact that many of you, many people, the world has a chance right now to accumulate more than that. If 1 million sets you up, imagine what 5 million or 10 million or 15 million does. So many people who leave the market, they get back into the market at the end of the cycle, and they're so disenfranchised and they're so annoyed and they're so frustrated about everything that happened because they didn't make the money that they could have made because they left the market early and they got back in at the tail end of the market. It's the same story constantly. When Bitcoin goes, I told you this before. When Bitcoin goes above $100,000, we're going to see an influx of people into the market, but it's not going to be as big as you expect. We're not going to see the people who were in here since last cycle until we hit or somewhere near $200,000. Bitcoin and the other crypto assets continue to become more unobtainable for people because time goes by and the prices go up. And I know that sounds logical or illogical, but it's because people aren't paying attention and they're not buying and they're not accumulating and they're not making sure that they have more for themselves. How many of you have been here for the last couple of years and you have automatic buy orders? You're buying automatically once a week, every 2 weeks, or once a month. How much crypto do you have now compared to how much you would have had if you hadn't been buying this entire time? The amount of crypto that you have based on the prices that you're expecting, like realistic prices for these coins. How much money are you expecting to make from the market? Now imagine other people who've left the market who have a 0% chance, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 chance of making even a fraction of that money. We are witnessing, how do I even say this? I watch a lot of dystopian movies. I don't know why. I like sci-fi. I like anything in the future. I like anything with robots. And I like anything that has to do with like a... have you seen the movie Elysium? It came out maybe 10 years ago. I love stuff like this. I don't know why. I love it. The really weird problem is that if you look at numbers and statistics, we are a stone's throw away from entering into that world. I told people before, like when I was just telling you about the whole like light bulb thing. The fact that more people aren't realizing this is very worrying. And I mean worrying. When you talk about that rich people are buying up as much land as possible. They're buying islands, they're buying lakes, and they're buying rivers. Do you think these people ever plan on... If you and your family had enough money to buy around 100,000 acres and a couple of lakes, would you ever let that leave your family? You would keep that for literally forever, for generations. We're seeing, for those of you who don't know, there's also a huge shift in stocks as well. A lot of retail keeps leaving it because they think that they can time the market or so and so and so. These stocks are constantly being bought up by huge companies. They want to own the majority of everything. They're buying up as much real estate and single family homes as possible. Normal people will never, ever be able to buy a home because of what we're witnessing now. And it's only going to crunch even more over the course of this decade and forever. There was a video there's multiple of them. You've seen them before, of these like real estate investors, these guys who are like, I own 700 homes, I've been buying blah, 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 all these other kinds of things. These people, like those homes, will never re-enter the market. That is generational wealth that will never spill over into the cup of a normal person. We're seeing the same exact thing happen with Bitcoin, and it worries me so much that the majority of this market isn't getting it. We are entering a world where a large portion, I've said this in multiple other videos because it keeps coming up recently. A large portion of you are not going to listen to what I'm saying. A large number of you have already clicked away from the video. You don't want to think about it. You want to wait and try and time it, and you want to do all these other things, and you will have nothing in this market. You will have no assets. You will sell everything. How many of you who have been in the market for a while have had friends who got into the market once the Bitcoin ETFs became live. I assume a healthy portion of you got those messages. Hey, bro, what's up? It's been a long time. So what crypto exchange should I be using? You know, those. Haven't spoken to you in a while. How do I make money? How many of them have stopped messaging you? A lot of them. I think every single person who messaged me in January, February, and March has stopped messaging me about crypto. And they'll re-message me again when prices are far too high for them to get into the market. They'll buy high. The prices will fall extremely low, and they'll sell, and I won't hear from them again for the next 2.5 to 3 years. Sorry for the, not even sorry, like for the weird video, but it's just more of a, you understand, or you should understand, or I hope that you get what's taking place. Like, this wasn't even the point of this video. Like, this, you don't understand, like, there was actual news. But I'm so weirded out by this disinterest in the market until things are too expensive. I don't want to buy Nvidia until the price is too high. Tesla, no one buys Tesla. Oh, it's expensive now. I'm going to buy it once again. The shift that's going to happen is going to be terrible. There are expectations that even if we get multiple interest rate cuts, that the market all markets might still drop because of the weight that's been placed on it from the last couple of years. There are expectations that layoffs might continue until the end of next year, until these mega companies get back on their feet. I was air quoting. There's so many weird things happening, and we're seeing this hyper consolidation of power and wealth. And it makes total sense to me in multiple facets as to why normal people leave these markets. It's what's the word? It's something greater than impatience. It's not wanting to be there. It's not wanting to wait. It's being so discouraged. It's looking the other direction. Last point, I saw something. Someone posted a meme a couple of days ago, and it was a photo. You've seen them before, where it's like, Dad, how'd you get so rich? And he's like, I bought so-and-so when it was at this price. And they go, legend. I don't know if any of you have seen that meme. And the meme was, Dad, how does it feel to have sold $500 million worth of Bitcoin for 2 pizzas? And it was just a guy crying in a corner. This happens every cycle. This happens. This must just be something historical that humans do, where you see an opportunity in front of you and you don't take advantage of it. You make sure that you almost do anything in your power to make sure that you don't come out ahead, that you stay in the same exact spot. I don't know. Like, I'll tell you, I honestly don't know what to do, how to get more people to understand or to notice. I had situations, like personal issues the last like 2 weeks with people who I knew who are not doing well financially. And I mean like bad, like not like, oh, no, like they're doing terrible. When I tell people to save money, people look at me like these are people who I know. People look at me like I'm crazy. When I ask some of my friends, do you have an emergency savings account? Or what? No, I don't have that. I'm not 50. What are you talking about? People think that investing is something for old people. People who are well above their age, 20 years older than them. So many people are going to lose out in astronomical ways. In housing, in land, in assets, in owning anything. I know the majority, or rather 1% of the majority, is going to have around 1 million Satoshis. I know a lot of people are going to have way less. This goes back to that discussion. How many people do you know right now could buy an entire Bitcoin, could buy half a Bitcoin, could afford to scrape together the money to buy a tenth of a Bitcoin. Now imagine how much difficult that's going to be when prices rise even further. The point is, I know that things are difficult. I know that things are shaky. I know that things are rough. I know that everything isn't in line and in order. Historically, there's been moments like this before. Ours is a bit more tricky, but we do come out of it. And it's not that I'm telling you not to lose faith or to keep hope alive or to whatever. It's just like really, I'm telling you, learn. Absorb as much information as you can about these market cycles and normal, the stock market cycle, so you can see where money moves and how it's been going. The wealth transfer is happening right now, and only a few of you listening to this are going to benefit from it because everyone keeps leaving the market. And then when the market recovers and resurfaces and goes back up, a lot of people are going to be very angry with themselves. So, yeah, right. I was not expecting this. Like I'm telling you, 1% at all. I think it's just been something that's been like weighing on my mind for so long that I don't really know what else to kind of do with it. Yeah. Please learn more, research more, find out more. I don't care if it's through a podcast or a YouTube video or something. There's a whole bunch of free information out there for you to be able to, absorb all of this stuff so that you can learn more. And keep investing, keep saving, keep building up this gigantic, not even a nest egg, this mansion egg for the future. Because you will be the people who have when no one else has anything. How many people do you know right now don't have anything? I can name more than on both my hands. Right. I hope that you've all enjoyed or got something out of it. Hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.